Now, what if we got the question of assuming 11% weighted average cost of capital and 3% growth rate, what terminal year free cash flow would we need in order for the terminal value to equal 2.5 billion future value? Now, what we could do is try to punch in numbers and eventually we get there or we approximate our way there. In order to save ourselves time, what we can use instead is the goal seek function. This is a function that essentially uses trial and error to find what a number needs to be in order to make a statement or formula true. Now, in our case, in order to calculate what the present value of the terminal value is using the PGM method, the three main inputs are the terminal year free cash flow, the weighted average cost of capital, and the perpetual growth rate after the terminal year. In our particular case, let's assume right now the terminal year free cash flow is $179.6 million based off an 11% weighted average cost of capital and a 3% growth rate. This gets us to a terminal value of $2.3 billion. Now, what if we got the question of assuming 11% weighted average cost of capital and 3% growth rate, what terminal year free cash flow would we need in order for the terminal value to equal 2.5 billion future value? Now, what we could do is try to punch in numbers and eventually we get there or we approximate our way there. So as an example, we know we're 200 million short. Let's try to increase it to 189. We need to go a little bit higher, 195. Now we're a little over. In order to save ourselves time, what we can use instead is the goal seek function. So if we go into data and we go underneath what if analysis and we click on goal seek. Goal seek allows us to select a desired output and it will find what is the needed input to make that statement true. Now, what this means is it holds everything else constant. In our example, if we want to set terminal value equals 2.5 billion, and we are only allowed to change the terminal year free cash flow, what would it need to be? When we hit OK, you'll see that Excel actually jumped through a couple of different numbers because it's using trial and error. Now, Excel can do that much faster than humans can, which is why we end up with 194.2 million. That is the exact number that is needed in order to have terminal value equal 2.5 billion. Interestingly enough, this only works when you're editing values. So as an example, although conceptually, let's say now we want to hold terminal year free cash flow and the perpetual growth rate constant. And now we want to change the weighted average cost of capital in order to make, let's say, terminal value equals 2.6 billion instead. We'll try the same thing. Try to change this to 2.6 billion. And by changing weighted average cost of capital, this actually won't work because goal seek requires you to use a cell that is only a value. It cannot be a formula. It cannot be referencing something else. It must be a value. And if we wanted to make this work and make this happen, what we can do is we can close that. Instead of using this as a reference, what we'll do is we'll copy and we'll paste it as a value. And now we can goal seek using that. And now we set this to 2.6 billion again by changing weighted average cost of capital. Now we're able to change this. And that 10.7% weighted average cost of capital, we get a present value of 1.6 billion. Okay. And there you have it. That's how you use goal seek to find the number that you're looking for. What needs to be true in order to achieve a desired outcome?